Hello and welcome to Cruising and Musing. I know I've been gone for a long time. What can I say? I got busy earning money over the summer, and when I wasn't working Uber, I was either off enjoying my summer vacation, or I was sleeping to go and drive Uber at night again, or I did catch one of the newer strains of COVID for a while there, and that was miserable. So I didn't feel like recording because that whole mind fog thing that was going on, I couldn't think clearly. And I'll say that's honestly the worst part about COVID is, when you get the mind fog and then you get lingering symptoms as well. The actual experience of having the sickness isn't no worse than any other sickness I've had. So I'm coming back to you now after being gone for weeks because I want to talk about the Governor DeSantis and the veteran initiative that he put through for helping solve the teacher shortage in Florida. And I feel that overall this is a good idea. The requirements as they stand is that it's only for people who have served a minimum of 4 years, followed by a discharge that was honorable or medical. They have to have at least 60 credits or most of an AA of college credits under their belt as well. I think this is a wonderful idea. I feel priority should be given to drill instructors and specialist instructors who are used to dealing with unruly teenagers, because that's what most recruits are 18, 19-year-old young men in high spirits. So they're used to dealing with the shenanigans and taking, and molding everyone towards the end, which in our case, towards that end, would be being an educated individual. I feel this is a good thing if you look at it from the left side, because this is going to open up the door to a lot more men and women of color to come in and be strong role models for the students who share their race. One of the common complaints on the left is that so many teachers are white and usually from an upper or middle class background. Well, now this is going to open it up for a lot more variety in your teaching staff coming through. And on the conservative side of things, going to the right wing, well, we're now going to influx a balancing force, because the bulk of the military, rather than the command structure of the military, is generally far more conservative than people who have been to college. And this will help balance, some of the nonsense, so that, when the big meetings are held and people are thinking about things that, need to be done with the students and whatnot, maybe there is some reality checks brought down and instituted by having, these people with a lot of practical life experience outside of the classroom, outside of the country, with a more conservative outlook, to balance the idealized educational, academic viewpoints that would be brought normally to play. So hopefully this will be a balancing of that, because right now, even a conservative lead-in teacher like myself is still at worst center line, and most of our coworkers to the left, finding a truly conservative teacher that's very right-wing is very difficult to do. Whereas finding progressive teachers that are very far left-wing is ever more easily accomplished, especially over the last few years, as the progressive movement has simply invaded the college of education. It was there when I went through school, 12, 13 years ago, and it's only gotten stronger since. So I feel like this has got to restore a balance to that conversation, maybe bring back some faith in the field and in the profession as we bring some of these men and women who have served back in. And again, it's got to provide better role models, so strong female role models to the female students, male role models to those male students who might not have a guy at the home. The fatherlessness being an issue in the current generation. It may help provide balance and insight moving forward. And again, what I'm personally looking forward to is having a bunch of bluntly spoken veterans in the classroom that'll just tell you how it is. May do a long way to offset get a lot of those academic ideas that are just on a runaway train because of the lack of counterpoints that are raised and the lack of support for those counterpoints. So this may again help balance things and improve the quality of education overall. Now, from my perspective as a teacher, rather than as a voter and as a centrist who has become alarmed at how far left my profession has gone, as a teacher, I think this is a good thing because I am a professional trained teacher. I went to school specifically to be a teacher, and there's very few of us out here actually in the classrooms that did that. A lot of the teachers that you see, especially on the secondary level, are people who are on their second career. So they've gotten one bachelor degree in something like business or accounting. They've taken a test. They've done some crash courses with whatever district they're working with. And now they're in the classrooms just the same as these veterans will be, doing something that they weren't specially trained for and were barely given any assistance in preparing themselves for. Engaging with our students and carrying the torch of education. And that's the bulk of teachers. I'd say easily 80%. Out of my current group of 45 staff members, I think only 3 of us actually have education degrees as our bachelor studies. So I think this is a step in, this is no worse to me than the alternative certification teachers are as far as a slap in the face, because I still have to do the same PD and everything else the people with alternative certs do. It's not going to be nothing changes for me. I'm still undervalued for the level of specialization I've gone through. So I think this is a good thing, and again, I don't feel insulted. I honestly would rather have somebody who served in the military for 4, 8, 12 years, was discharged with all of that life experience and haven't been willing to sacrifice and risk dying like that entire time, teaching next door to me and being one of my coworkers, than I would for somebody who spent 4 years doing an online degree while they were in a frat house. And I swear I went through puberty. I don't know why my voice keeps cracking, but I'd rather have the guy who served teaching next to me, and I'd have far more respect for them than that person who went into teaching because they clowned through college and now this is the only thing they could really enter into because they aren't prepared to be a business leader, so their business degree is only going to check the box that they got the collegiate degree, and now they're going to come in and be a teacher and fuck things up royally all over the place. So I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. I don't think this is in any way an insult to teachers. If anything, it's neutral at best compared to the alternative certification paths already in place. And I feel like it's a far more deserving group of people that can now step in and get into that. And I have said before that, I feel like we make it too hard to become a teacher, and that with a more streamlined preparatory way of going about things, it could easily be a 3-year teacher prep program, and you come through it instead of with like a bachelor's degree, a specialized teaching degree, the same way that you get a specialized MD after so long. But that's my thoughts on the matter. Pretty quick video. Definitely would be happy to see the teacher shortage be alleviated by veterans, and see those veterans have a purpose so that perhaps more than a few suicides can be assuaded as they have a purpose in life and a way to continue to serve even after they're no longer in the military. That's it. That's my take. Good to be back, and thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, if you haven't, please do click subscribe. I still want to get to 50 voters so I can do unlimited time uploads, and that'll let me do something like if I do get on more long road trips, like when I went with my mother but I'm alone, I can sign in and do the live stream through the phone and not have the limitation of my phone's 20-minute recording limit to work with, which will allow me to more fully express my ideas and do what I talked about in the root of the video, which was the thinking, that kind of open dialogue, where I have to kind of curate myself a little bit more to have thought through my positions to create these shorter videos, as well as keep a lot of sidebars, tangents, and support that I would normally detail out for my position to myself for the sake of making the shorter video. So again, click subscribe, leave me a comment to know how you feel. And I do want to give a shout out to Dr. John Souza over at Echelon Education Consultant. He has been missing for the last month as well, and I do hope that everything is well with him. Thank you guys, and have a good afternoon.